I never believed in the supernatural. To me, stories about cursed objects were just myths to scare children. Until I found the doll, and my life changed forever. It all started when I moved into a new apartment. It was small but cozy with minimal furniture. The previous owner had left some old stuff in the storage room. I decided to throw it away, but among the pile of stuff, there was something that caught my attention. An old porcelain doll in a shabby white dress. Her face was pale, her eyes were bright blue, and her red lips seemed to smile faintly. There was something strange about this doll, but I didn't know what. I almost threw it away until I saw something written on the back of her neck. "Don't leave her alone." I frowned. Maybe it was just someone's prank writing, but still, there was something unsettling about this doll. I put it on the living room shelf, intending to throw it away later. That night, I fell asleep quickly. I was too tired after a long day of packing, but in the middle of the night, I woke up to a whispering voice, soft to faint, as if someone was talking directly into my ear. I opened my eyes with my heart pounding. The room was dark, only the sound of the fan humming softly. I sharpened my hearing, nothing. Maybe it was just a dream, I thought. I tried to sleep again, but just as I was about to fall asleep, the whispering sounded again, clearer, closer. I gasped. Someone was whispering in my room. I turned to the side of the bed, hoping it was just my imagination, and that's when I saw it. In the corner of the room, the porcelain doll was now sitting on the floor, facing me. My heart felt like it stopped. Was sure I had put it in the living room earlier. I swallowed, trying to think logically. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I brought it here without realizing it. I took a deep breath, trying to ignore it, then turned around. But before I could close my eyes, I heard something that made my blood run cold. "Don't leave me." The whisper came from behind me. I turned my head with bated breath. The doll was still where it was, not moving, nothing strange. But this time, its smile was wider, and I was sure its eyes were now looking directly at me. I couldn't think straight. This didn't make sense. I must be hallucinating. Rubbed my eyes, trying to convince myself that I was just tired. But the more I stared at the doll, the more I felt something was wrong. Its smile was too big. Its eyes were too lifelike. I made up my mind. I wasn't leaving this doll in my room overnight. Got out of bed, grabbed the doll with shaking hands, and carried it to the kitchen. I opened the closet and put it inside. I quickly closed the door and locked the closet. That was it. I sighed. There was nothing to worry about. Went back to my room, lay down, and tried to sleep. But around 3 in the morning, I woke up again. Knock, knock, K-N-O-C-K. I held my breath. The sound was coming from the kitchen. I strained my ears. Knock, K-N-O-C-K. Someone or something was knocking from inside the kitchen cupboard. My heart was racing. I swallowed, my body freezing. This couldn't be. There was no one in this apartment except me. I had to make sure. I slowly got out of bed, my fingers cold. Each step towards the kitchen felt heavy, as if something was holding my feet back. When I reached the kitchen, everything was silent. No sound, no movement. I stared at the locked kitchen cabinet. I didn't want to open it, but I had to. My hand shook as I turned the key. The cabinet door creaked softly as I opened it. The doll was gone. I shivered, was sure I'd locked it in here, but now it was empty. I turned around, my breathing quickening. I had to get out of here. I had to leave this apartment right now. But as I was about to step through the door, a small voice whispered right behind me, "Why did you leave me?" I turned my head in fear. The doll was now sitting on the dining room table. Her smile was wider. His eyes stared right into mine, and before I could move, the lights went out in my apartment, dark, silent. Then, I heard small footsteps approaching. It was dark. I couldn't see anything. I stood in the middle of my apartment, my breath quickening, my heart pounding. My ears were strained, trying to catch the slightest sound. Tap, tap, tap. The footsteps were still there, closer, closer. I felt around the wall, looking for the light switch. My fingers were shaking. When I finally found it, I pressed it. Click. The light came on. I looked over at the dining table. The doll was gone. I froze. I knew I wasn't hallucinating. I heard it move. I felt it approach. Then something made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. On the wall of my living room, there were small scribbles. The writing was repeated over and over, dozens, hundreds of times. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. My hands started shaking. This was enough. I had to get out of here. I ran to the front door and grabbed the doorknob, but it wouldn't open. No, no, no. I reached into my pocket trying to find my keys, but something stopped me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. The doll was now standing at the end of the hallway. I didn't know how it was standing. There was nothing holding it up, but there it was, staring at me, and this time its lips moved. Now you can't leave. I screamed and backed away, looking for a way out. But suddenly, the lights in my apartment went out again. It was pitch black. I tripped and fell to the floor. My knees ached, but I didn't care. I crawled, looking for a way out. Suddenly, something touched my hand. Cold, small, tiny fingers. I turned my head in panic. A pair of bright blue eyes stared back at me from the darkness. And before I could scream, everything was gone. The apartment was now empty. The new owner said the place felt strange. They found something left behind in the living room, an old porcelain doll in a white dress. And if you get close to it, sometimes you can hear a small voice whisper, "Don't leave me."